Alright, what's going on, guys? WeBull is back again, coming at you with the top 10 power characters to date when it comes down to Bleach Brave Souls. The date currently is August 15th for those that are watching this at a later date. Let's just get right into it. Now, when I do my top 10s, I do have the community help vote for it when it comes to my streams. Tier list I'll usually do on my own, but tier list I don't necessarily care for ordering too much outside of just like this character is clearly better than this one, etc., or more uses, however you want to put it. So let's just get right into it, right? First, honorable mention, we do have Love as well as Halibel. Both these characters are almost I want to say that they're pretty identical. Like, this character has the power attribute of Ronkar's strong attack damage 20%, and then on top of that she has damage to slowed enemies, and she does have the shackler. Like, that's kind of like the differentiator when it comes to her. So with that power attribute strong attack damage 20%, it does scale well. First strong attack is going to be the 3000. Actually, his beam is better than hers, isn't it? Okay, so she has the 870 with beam, and for his first strong attack, he actually has the good beam, the 1020 with. So I do think that he's a slightly better character, but it's kind of weird because he also has Sprinter and he also has Long Stride, and Halibel also has Sprinter and she also has Long Stride. So they kind of have the same kit, the 3000 length beam. For the second strong attack, they both have the 870 lunge second strong attack, and then the third strong attack is the 1170 AoE distant third strong attack. Personally, this third strong attack is probably the best. I personally still think it's the best in the game. Both of these characters are incredibly strong, and honestly, power is just completely stacked as opposed to something like speed. Alright, next we do have Lunar New Year Rangaku. This is not necessarily ordered. Honestly, I'd probably put Love slightly above Rangaku just because his first strong attack is superior. Now, she has the increased status element chance, but the enemies have to be technique, attribute, or Ronkar units, which is kind of iffy. So if you have killer advantage in IT, this is going to be where she really like does her job. For her soul tree, she actually does have the immobilizer, so 12% chance every 5 seconds, which is really good. Team party recover 20% stamina, so that is good for IT. You're healing your allies. And then you also have read dodge, read or Ronkar dodges. Let's see here. She has the revive mechanic on her special move. She has frenzy. She has berserker 40% with full stam 20%. And then, like I said before, she does heal her party, which is good. She has havoc. She has guard break. And then her first strong attack is the Doodoo 18% magnification first strong attack. With the range collision, you are pretty much guaranteed to proc her status element in content like IT. So her first strong attack, as long as she has killer, not necessarily the worst, but it is like arguably the worst first strong attack. Second strong attack is going to be a 3000 length beam, 870 width, so this is going to be the skinny beam as opposed to Aizen, Retsu, Kenpachi's, and Uryu's beam, or Yamamoto's beam. Oh my god, Yamamoto. Okay, we'll get into that. Standard full screen third strong attack. So last on the honorable mentions, not necessarily ordered, probably Hikone. I don't know where I'd put him. Now, he has Berserker 20%, weakening on everything, which is nice. Disabler against technique attribute Soul Reaper, so he's another character that kind of needs the enemies to be Soul Reapers. But when he does have that Soul Reaper advantage in content like IT, this character goes relatively crazy. He has Sprinter +2, which is really, really nice. I see a lot of people give him Long Stride, so that way he can just fly. Berserker 20%, Frenzy, he does have Havoc. First strong attack, 3000 length beam. Second strong attack is going to be the Vacuum Pushback, if you're familiar with Spirits Are Forever with you, Retsu. She's kind of like my go-to when it comes to it. Vacuum, and then Crawling Vortex forward. Relatively fast. Crawling Vortex doesn't last that long, but it does have a good amount of hits. So really, really, really good. Third strong attack is going to be the 1170 that we just talked about when it came to Halibel as well as Love. Really, really, really good third strong attack. And yeah, so that's going to be it for the honorable mentions. Let's just get right into the top 10. Now, Nozomi, I do think she's a specifically worse character than all the ones that we just mentioned, except for even more than Hikone. I do think that she's a worse character. Now, why is she on the top 10 list? The value that she brings to your account is actually kind of crazy. She doesn't have really anything notable outside from the fact that she gets plus 50% killer effect in multiplayer quests, and this character is pretty much relegated to only co-op type content. primarily epic raids. She has Berserker 60%, so pretty good multiplier when it comes to dealing damage. She has Frenzy, and then on top of that, she does have the Revive mechanic on her special. Excellent for epic raids, just in case you're doing like Awaken and your team dies, especially in this new Kisuke raid. But she has Technique Droplet Drop plus 30% and Technique Link Slot Potions plus 5. So you can take her into Enriched Droplet Zone, IZ, and then obviously Epic Raids is going to be the primary place where you farm. And with her, you'll also be able to farm up a ton of coins, because while you're farming potions, while you're farming droplets, you give this character T15, so that way she gets weakened defense. All of her attacks can hit from almost anywhere on the map in Epic Raids, because so even if she didn't get Havoc, I see a lot of people say, oh, she's trash, she doesn't have Havoc. She doesn't need Havoc in Epic Raids. 40% magnification for strong attack. If you're missing the boss, when you auto-target the boss from anywhere in the map, you suck. That's a complete skill issue, and you probably should learn how to play the game, because pushing the button is not really that hard. If you're struggling with that, that's tough. 2500 length beam also hits from anywhere in the map. If you miss this strong attack, despite not having Havoc, so it's a skinny beam, it's almost skinnier than my, then that's a skill issue. Third, 1000 by 675. Now this one you could potentially miss, and it can be a bit risky to use, but in Epic Raids, like I said, this girl's an Epic Raid farmer, and she makes your life a lot easier because you're getting to farm, you're able to farm quicker. And I think that she brings enough value to merit the top 10. I'm actually surprised that this character ended up getting voted in before her, but at number 9 we do have Toshiro, and I do think that he's a better character overall in terms of like gameplay, because he's useful in more places. Now he does have a no affiliation killer. What does Nozomi have? Yeah, she also has a no affiliation killer. So Toshiro has a no affiliation killer. He is a Technique Link Slot Potions plus 5 unit as well. He does not have Droplet Drop, but he does have increased status element chance against Technique Attribute no affiliation enemies. So he's going to be really good for those ITs when the enemies are no affiliation. Even if he doesn't have that that killer advantage though, he does have Freezer, which is still such a weird name. But either way, it's kind of like the map-wide AoE. Same thing that Rangaku has with Paralysis. It's a map-wide AoE pulse that just freezes all enemies. Berserker 40%, Frenzy, he does have Havoc. His kit is actually pretty good. It's the same as Hikone's, as we discussed a bit earlier. 3000 length beam, vacuum into pushback, and then third strong attack is the 1170 AoE distant. The only difference is that he has freeze as opposed to Hikone's weakening. But if you're doing content like IT with these characters, then it's not really that big a deal, because like they're still being dealt like ×4, ×5 damage when they get frozen, when they get weakened. Next we do have Soifon. I'm actually surprised to see Soifon get voted in so high. I do think that she's relatively OP, but my issue with her is that I feel like actually I don't really have many issues with her. It's just weird because now characters have value in so many different regards. And back in the day, there used to be a clear indicator, oh, this character is better than this character. This character is better than this character. So top 10 lists would take like, honestly, it was like, take like maybe like 30 minutes to properly list without getting like completely crapped on, right? Either way, I do actually like this Soifon, but for the most part, I'm only going to ever use her in Guild Quest, maybe some Senkaimon stages. She's a no affiliation killer. She does have a bruiser of 60% with a team boost, and she does have barrier on it. She also has multi-barrier +2, which is excellent. If I didn't have Masaki, I probably would use her in ranged no affiliation week as well, because you don't actually need nullify melee resistance or nullify range resistance over there. Debilitator +5 seconds, paralysis and poison on everything, which is really cool, except for her second, but that tends to be the case for a lot of boost barriers. Multi-barrier +2, we have flurry, enhancer +10 seconds for the boost. She does have poise, and she has a built-in strong attack recharge, so her boost comes back relatively quickly. Characters like this honestly make really good use of the Chadlings that came out, the Senkaimon Chadlings, with the strong attack recharge, 12%, full stamina damage boost 25, really good. She does have guard break, fire immunity mainly for melee no affiliation week, and then sprinter +1. If you're going to take her into range no affiliation week, make sure that you give her some freeze immunity. And then on top of that, her kit, 850 with 2500 length beam. Very strange. I think that this is the same beam as Aizen Okay, so this is the same beam as Aizen, except she just doesn't have Havoc, which is understandable since she's a NAD character. I kind of wish she had long reach, but I mean, it is what it is. Second strong attack is going to be an AoE distant 800 radius. If you're familiar with the 960, you've probably seen this with characters like Bruno, Art Book Ichigo, 6th anniversary Aizen without the vortex. It's just going to be a bit smaller because she doesn't have Havoc. Third strong attack is going to be a vacuum into explosion. I'm not quite sure if this is a lunge into explosion. I don't remember if she got the same thing as a no affiliation killer Jackie, because no affiliation killer Jackie had a very, very strange strong attack. I don't really use I need to use this Soifon more. I don't use her as much as I probably should. All right, next on the list we do have Momo. And Momo is the new super link slot character, the first one in particular for power, for technique link slot power potions in general. She's a technique link slot potions character with a super technique link slot potion, so she's good in epic raids, IZ, IT, and on top of that she also has increased status element chance against all technique attribute enemies. So if she's in IT, she's gonna have that disabler regardless of having killer, which is incredible. She does have a no affiliation killer, which is a bit meh, but she is a team booster with flurry, with the chance to cause slow just with your NAD, your strong attacks, etc. Okay, so going into her other skills, she does have poise, she has guard break, and then she does have freeze immunity as well as sprinter +1. Going into her attacks, she has the 18% magnification due to for a strong attack. When it comes to NAD characters, I feel like NAD characters make better use of this 18%, especially if they have something like a status element, mainly disabler as well. Characters like Toshiro strive off this first strong attack because he has drain, so he's able to heal himself up a little more consistently than with his NAD, just because the enemies get hit a lot more. Now, whether or not this first strong attack is going to kill doesn't matter, but proccing the slow on the enemy so that your normal attack damage string actually deals more damage is really, really, really good on this character. Personally, I have mine at T20. I'm going to run her with stamina recovery and what else did I run her with? I think I ran her with like last ditch. That way she heals, that way if she dies, she comes back. I usually run her with 2 last ditch links as well, 1 last ditch link as well, the normal attack damage, last ditch revival, just so that way she survives a little longer. Her second strong attack, 625, what is the second strong attack? Oh, it's the vacuum into pushback attack, and then her third strong attack is a standard full screen third strong attack. This character offers a lot of value to people's accounts just because that super technique link slot potion skill, even if you're trash at the game, you have a ranged NAD character, so you can genuinely just stay away from the fight. You're providing value with more link slot potions as a whole, and then on top of that, you don't actually need to have her as your main runner. You can put her as a side unit in your single player IT runs in order to get better value from your run as well. So I do like this Momo quite a bit. Next, we do have Rukia. Now, Rukia versus Ichigo was very, very, let's just say it was very, very, very contentious. 6 Rukia, 5 5th anniversary Ichigo. 5th anniversary Ichigo won with like 3% of the votes. It was like 52 to 53% to 47% against Rukia. The reality is that even though Rukia is an excellent character, the reason that she got put in a little bit lower than Ichigo, I believe, because like I said, it's a vote, I believe it's because Ichigo is great in 4 different guild quests, and in the 4 different guild quests he also has like that Marauder, which actually is incredibly helpful. Rukia is great in 3 guild quests, and but she's a little limited when it comes to her disabler, which we'll talk about in a second. And 5th anniversary Ichigo just hits like a truck, and he's useful in so much other content besides just like guild quests. I feel like Rukia is good in like IT and guild quests. That's mainly where people use her in. She's useful in other places, but I mean, it is what it is. Anyways, let's just talk about Rukia. Rukia is still an excellent character, even though I do believe that her and 5th anniversary Ichigo are slowly phasing out, just because we have characters like Yamamoto, Bruno, Kisuke. Kisuke is still so stupid. Like, I feel like Kisuke is so free. Like he's Alright, Rukia, sorry, I'm bugging out. Now, Rukia has a Berserker 60%, damage to frozen enemies plus 20%, which we'll get into in a second, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, so the freeze lasts forever. Berserker 60 with Frenzy with Havoc 20% means that this character is going to have some good range on her. She's going to have some good damage, and on top of that, she also has Recover 20% stamina for herself only, so she does heal herself 20% over time, so giving her like something like full stamina damage boost is completely reasonable in my opinion. Sprinter plus 1, Bruiser 20%, kind of a throwaway ability. Now, going into her soul tree, but first I want to talk about her transformation mechanic. Her Bankai mechanic lasts for 20 seconds. It has a cooldown of 30 seconds. It will increase your strong attack magnification, so pretty much your strong attacks will deal 25% more damage. Really, really good magnifier. And then the issue that this character has is that when she transforms for the first 10 seconds, her transformation does not reset her cooldowns, unlike some people that have it on her Soul Bomb. She has it on the Bankai mechanic, which is a little symbol that's on the top left of, or top right, depending if you're playing a left-hand mode, on the top left of your attack screen. This will give you a 10-second disabler against all enemies, regardless of affiliation, regardless of attribute, and that will cause her to freeze over and over and over again. Keep in mind that she does get that disabler on her normal attacks as well as her strong attacks. So this character can freeze very, very efficiently. She does have an Arankar killer. She does not have Marauder, which is kind of unfortunate. I kind of wish she got that, to be honest. So she's going to be mainly good for melee Arankar week. She's going to be good in melee Espada week, and she can be used in range Espada week. I personally used to use her until I got Okiura, because Okiura is just stupid. But that's another thing. So you'll see here the base versus transformed. First strong attack has a magnification of 120% plus 25%, right? Because some people think that it's 30%. I mean, technically it's 30% more, but it's not. Like, if we do 120, multiply that by 25% increase, you'll see that it goes to 150. So when we go to strong attack 1, you'll see here the magnification is 150. That is not an increase of 30%, because if it was an increase of 30%, then it would be times 1.3. It would be a 36% increase technically. So learn how to do math. Freeze immunity as well as weaken immunity, which is great for guild quest. And yeah, I mean, overall she's an excellent character. My only issue with her is that her first strong attack is a lunge. Personally, I'm kind of like over lunges, so that's why I don't really play my Ichigo or Rukia anymore. But that is not to say that they're bad characters, right? It's just, it is what it is. That's personal preference at that point. The main issue that I get with lunges in content like IT is that if there's like a wall of like big enemies, you use your lunge isn't going the full length that you normally would. You're going to get stopped by those enemies, and that causes you to deal less damage, hit less enemies, and then overall deal less damage, as opposed to a beam that will literally penetrate their apple and then just go right through not only the wall of enemies but the wall behind them as well. So that's personally why I've been kind of falling out of favor when it comes to lunges in general. Second strong attack is going to be the 960 AoE distance second strong attack. This is going to be obviously the 960 AoE. I mean, it is what it is. Now going into Ichigo, he also has the same first and second strong attack. She has a full screen and he has a charged third strong attack. So let's segue into him. Now, he has 2 PvE killers and Marauder, which is really, really, really good. He has a Hollow killer, he has an Arankar killer, and then he has Marauder, which is good for both weeks in Guild Quest if you feel like running him. He used to be a little more dominant than he is now. Now he's a little bit more impotent, which is kind of unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, like, if you max transcend him, it's kind of like taking a couple pills of Viagra. You'll be Gucci. Berserker 60%, Frenzy, Havoc 20%, Sprinter plus 2, which I personally love. I like Sprinter plus 2 long stride. It is what it is. Not necessarily for epic grades because I get clapped all the time. But the Marauder is nullify melee resistance as well as guard break. So pretty much he has guard break as well. Going into his first, lunge, second, 960, I already talked about it. His third is an 840 radius AoE distant, and then you can charge it for 1080 radius. Really, 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 really good third strong attack. We talked about the 1170 radius third strong attack. This one, you do need to charge it, but he also deals double damage when it's charged for 3 seconds. I love this character. I personally think he's still relatively OP. I just feel like there's some characters that just kind of are just so stupid. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Now, number 4th, and definitively number 4th, because top 3, I think, well, slot number 2. Well, we'll talk about it in a second. Now, going into Kisuke, Kisuke is absolutely incredible. He has paralysis and lacerate, so the enemies either get paralyzed and then they can't do anything and while they're being drained of their stuff, and if they're immune to paralysis, which tends to happen sometimes in IT, then he also has the lacerate, so the enemies can't even use their ultimate attacks, their one-shot mechanics. And yeah, overall, he's just a really good character. He has Berserker 40%, Frenzy, Havoc 20%, Recover 20% stamina only to himself, Status Ailment Spiritual Pressure boost 80%, which causes an increase in your damage by roughly 65 to 70% damage, which is really good. So even though he only has Frenzy +1 and Berserker 40%, that Status Ailment Spiritual Pressure boost is incredible in terms of just dealing a good amount of damage. Now, where this character falls off is he does have Guard Break, which is good. He's immune to all status elements. He has a 100% chance to hit dodge enemies for Soul Reaper, so read Soul Reaper dodge, and then he also has Sprinter +1. And obviously Guard Break is good. Now, first strong attack is going to be the 18% magnification for strong attack. His second strong attack is the same as 5th anniversary Byakuya, the 960 AoE. Distant second strong attack followed up with a homing vortex with 630 radius. Him and 5th anniversary Byakuya have the same first and second strong attack, 18% mag, 960, 630 homing vortex for the second. The 18% mag, pretty doo-doo, but at least this character has status elements, so he can actually get away with it. Third strong attack is going to be a standard full screen third strong attack. And yeah, I mean, like, him having the homing vortex just means that he's probably going to get this status element spiritual pressure boost off relatively often, which is really good. Obviously not as much as freaking Aizen, but then again, Aizen's Aizen, so it is what it is. Yeah, and I also love his design. Kisuke, very, very, very good character, great crowd control. He doesn't have Marauder, so he's mainly only used in melee Soul Reaper week, but I do see some people using him in Captain's week in order to paralyze them, so that way the enemies can't really do much. I feel like there's a lot of options now for Captain's Week, so I mean, it is what it is. And then next on the list, and someone who didn't lose by much, Bruno. He did lose to Kenpachi, but not by much. I want to say it was like maybe 3%. We saw 5th anniversary Ichigo win like 53 to 47%. Bruno actually only won by like 3%. Like, it was 52 to like 49.5. It was like 51.5 to 49.5. It was not that crazy of a vote in terms of like the disparity, which I was kind of impressed with. A lot of people, I did like one of the arguments, but Bruno has a better soul bomb, and I'm like, but Kenpachi deals double damage. Kenpachi deals more than I think Kenpachi deals about twice as much damage as Bruno does with his strong attacks, but remember that soul bombs you only use once. And if you want to talk about bombing in Guild Quest as main runner, then there's much better soul bombs for specific content, because like you're competing, you're arguing, oh yeah, my range Soul Reaper killer Bruno versus my melee Soul Reaper killer Kenpachi. It's just like, okay, so range Soul Reaper week, why are you not using 7th anniversary Ichigo, right? So it's just weird. Either way, I do think that Bruno is an excellent character. We're talking about the best of the best at this point. His first strong attack is going to be the 40% mag pushback attack, really, really good for content like IT. Second strong attack is going to be the 960. He stomps the ground, which is really, really nice. Full screen third strong attack. He has a Berserker of 40%. Frenzy +1, and then he also has Havoc 20%, which is really good for that first strong attack. He has Bombardment, which is excellent because he also has Weakening, so this actually will stack very, very, very nicely. If you want to give him Weakened defense, excellent. Debilitator +5 seconds for the Weakening. Hit an enemy chance 100%. He also has Poise, and he also has Sharpshooter. So he has Nullify range resistance, he has Guard Break, and then he also has the hit an enemy chance 100%, which is really, really nice. His Soul Tree, he does have he does have Dodge, Soul Reaper damage at 50% chance, Last Ditch Survival built into his kit, and then he also has Sprinter +2. Personally, I like giving him Long Stride with full stamina damage boost, but then again, I don't necessarily care for Guild Quest all that much, right? And then, yeah, I mean, overall, just a really, really, really good character. He is an Arena character as well. He actually picks up Frenzy +2 in Arena. He gets an increased Soul Bomb in Arena, and then on top of that, he has the Start Power Up item +2, which is really, really good for Arena. Next, we do have Kenpachi. Like I said, didn't win out by much, but he deals so much damage, it's not even funny. If I bring in my calculator and just calculate out the damage, let's just assume that the character gets 40% strong attack damage and 25% full stamina damage boost as a link. We're gonna actually add 25% to that because normally you're gonna T15 or T20 these awesome characters. Let's calculate the damage, right? So Bruno, he gets his Berserker 40%, he gets the Frenzy +1, and then he's gonna pick up these other skills as well. So let's calculate this. 100 times 1.5 for the Berserker times 1.4 times 1.5 for the full standard damage boost times 1.8 for the Berserker, 40 plus 80 plus 40% from his actual kit, and we're gonna actually pick up 270 damage. We can multiply this by 2 for Frenzy, right? So 540. That's gonna be his baseline damage. 540 Bruno Mars. Next, we're gonna go into Kenpachi. Now, this is why stuff gets crazy. This is why math is incredibly important, kids. We're gonna do this times the 1. He does not have a Berserker, right? So we're just gonna give him the times 1.4 for the Berserker from the links. We're going to give him the times 1.5 for the full stamina damage boost. We're going to give him the times 1.1. Let's assume we're not doing co-op, right? Let's give him let's lowball him a bit, otherwise he'll be too broken, right? Because he gets plus 30% in damage in co-op quests, which is absolutely insane. So let's do that times 1.1, and then let's add in the we already did in the full stamina damage boost. Let's multiply it by 3 because he has Frenzy +2, right? Now 693. Okay, oh my god, but he doesn't deal, that's not double damage. Then that's not double damage than Bruno Mars. That's not double damage than Bruno Mars. Oh yeah, au contraire, my little Padawan. If this character has full stamina damage boost, which is not really that hard to keep considering that his kit is actually relatively distant from most melee characters, which is still really weird to me, but whatever. We're going to multiply in his full stamina only increased strong attack damage that does not function the same as Berserker. This gets calculated after, which means that this is going to go up by 40%. So this original 693 gets turned into 970.2, which is why you kind of want a healer or someone that can actually keep you capped up. And you'll see here that he deals divided by 540. You'll see here that he deals about 80% more damage with his strong attacks than someone like Bruno. Now, obviously, if you're doing like sub 1 second, sub 10 seconds in guild quests, that's not really going to matter all that much. But in regular co-op quests, like co-op content, stuff can get pretty crazy. Because if we actually take that 970.2 and do something like co-op quest, divide this by 1.1, and then we're going to multiply it by 1.3, you'll see here that he clearly deals more than double damage of this Bruno. And since you have melee collision, first strong attack, second strong attack, third strong attack, it's consistent just destruction damage, which is absolutely insane. The thing that Bruno does well is that 40% mag first strong attack hits a lot of times, so you actually end up coming ahead when it comes to range collision as opposed to the 18% mag, which is just diarrhea, in content where you can't normally one-shot enemies. But if you're dealing double damage, it kind of edges you out in not necessarily... Well, I mean, I guess it does edge you out in a good way, but it's not quite as good as Angela White, right? So next and finally last on the list, we do have... Oh wait, I didn't even talk about the Kenpachi. So Kenpachi also has ailment reversal, so if you do get hit, if you have sufficient damage reduction, now I'm not saying put damage reduction links on him, but if you do get hit with a status ailment, he'll heal 20% of his HP after the initial hit from the enemy, and then he'll also proc that status ailment against the enemy. He has Frenzy +2, which means that triple damage instead of double damage, Havoc 20%, Marauder, so nullify melee resistance as well as guard break, melee damage plus 10%, 30% in all co-op quests, which is actually crazy, so even in epic raids. And this does I don't think this factors into your special move, I'm not quite sure. He does have poise, and then he also has the sprinter +1, weaken immunity, and then the full stamina only. I love that full stamina only. It's such a strong skill. It's the only reason that the swimsuit Neliel is playable. Sorry, don't at me. Next, number 1 on the list, obviously Yamamoto. Yamamoto is just king. He has the best kit in the game. The only thing that could make this character better is if the third strong attack was the 1170. And even then, that's questionable because, I mean, that's personal preference, I suppose. This character has Quincy Killer, Hollow Killer, so he's going to be really good in those guild quests. Strong attack recharge as his link, Berserker 40%, and Frenzy +1. Oh, he doesn't even have Frenzy +2. He's trash. Okay. And then he gets status element spiritual pressure boost 80%. He gets damage to burning enemies plus 40%. Damage to weakened enemies plus 40%. Keep in mind, if the enemy is weakened, they're already taking 50% extra damage. Now they're going to be taking an extra 40% on top of that. If they're burned and weakened, which is what he does in particular, they're going to be taking an extra 80%. I originally thought this would compound into itself to give you like I think it's 96% if it did that. Yeah, 96%, but it actually gets added into each other. So you're just getting you're only getting an 80% damage increase. So really, really, really dumb. If the enemy is weakened, for example, let's just assume that that you would weaken them with some other attack. Let's go into his damage in particular versus someone like Aizen or Bruno. Let's do it before and then let's do it after. So he has the Frenzy +2. So we're gonna, he has the Frenzy +1. Times the Berserker 40% link, so times 1.8, right? Because Berserker 40% with his 40% already. Now we're going to multiply in the 1.5 because full stamina damage boost, you're going to do that. 540. Okay, cool. This is already Bruno's damage, right? Now, we're going to get the status element spiritual pressure boost. Let's give a lowball estimate, roughly 60-65%. We're going to do 65% because like 60 to 70%, something along those lines. Boom, 891. Now, this character is already almost at where Kenpachi is in terms of damage, but, and here's the big but, if the enemy is weakened or burned, this character is going to deal stupid amounts of damage. Going into his soul tree, oh, he has Sprinter +2 too. Oh, stupid, he's so stupid. Okay, let's assume that the enemy is burned, right? Times 1.8 damage. Oh, oops. 891 times 1.8. Now we're dealing 1600 damage. This is already 50% more than Kenpachi, which is actually insane. Keep in mind that they're also weakened, so let's times it by 1.5, so 2400 damage. This is already triple Bruno's. This is more than triple Bruno's damage if the enemy's weakened. All right. Okay. He also has Bombardment, which, keep in mind, Bombardment will also give Weaken and Burn. Now his Bombardment, and he also has Weaken Defense. Let's take into let's do the damage with Bruno versus the damage with Yamamoto. Now, let's just say base damage is 100. Bruno's gonna deal times 1.5 because of the weakening, times 7 hits plus 100. So this is gonna be the 8 hits of Bruno. Okay, well, that's including his weakening. If we want to give weakened defense, we could do weakened defense, but like, let's just do base damage because we could also give Yamamoto weakened defense on his weakened defense. Yamamoto's going to get the 100. Now we're also going to get the damage to weakened weakened defense built into the character, times the 1.5 for the weakening, times 1.8 for the damage to burn and weaken enemies, and then we're also going to multiply this by 7, and then we're going to also add in the original 100 damage. You'll see here that he deals 1150. He deals more than 120. He deals about 122% more damage than Bruno, more than double damage. Okay, so if that gives you any indication of how stupid this character is, it is what it is. Going into his other skills that just make him even more dumb, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, really good because now he's also burning them even more for longer, and then they're also weakened longer, as if they're not already dead. He has Marauder, so nullify melee resistance as well as guard break. He has shared complete status immunity, which he is completely immune to all status elements, and he will actually pass it on to an ally if he were to be affected by a status element. And on top of that, he does have Sprinter +2, dodge hollow damage 50% rate, and he has Havoc 20% as an innate skill. He picks up Poise in Arena, which is stupid. His first strong attack is Aizen's Beam. His second strong attack is Aizen's 960 into Homing Vortex. And his third strong attack is Aizen's full screen third strong attack. He literally has the... the best kit in the game. It's just simple as that. Even with his Doodoo Quincy Killer, he's still bombing other weeks in Guild Quest. I've seen this character at 2 out of 5, like sub 1 second runs in regular Hollow Week. But if he doesn't have Killer, I've seen 5/5 Yamamotos do sub 10 second runs in No Affiliation Week. I've seen sub 10 second runs in Soul Reaper Week as well. So like I've seen this character just do some stupid things already. And yeah, I expect maybe a harder guild quest to come out eventually. I hope the rewards are going to be sufficient. But I'm gonna leave it at that. That's gonna be the top 10 list. At number 1 we do have Yamamoto. At number 2 Kenpachi. 3 Bruno. 4 Kisuke. 5 5th anniversary Ichigo. At 6 we have Captain Rukia. At 7 Momo. At 8 Soifon. At 9 Toshiro. And at 10 Nozomi. This character is literally just like, she's just a really good value character. I want to help everyone. Alright.